That's why I say there is doubt in the minds of Americans that we will continue as this great, exceptional nation. In his first major address, Abraham Lincoln gave this expression when he said, "The latest generation that fate shall permit the world to know, we have a task of gratitude to our fathers, justice to ourselves, duty to posterity, and love for mankind in general, and that requires us faithfully to perform." For 21 generations in America, we've listened to Lincoln's words. We have faithfully performed to the next generation. And our ancestors, when they arrived on these shores, just think of it, they spoke different languages. They had different cultures, different backgrounds, different traditions. But unbelievably, they all bound themselves back to this tradition, this covenant that was contained in the Mayflower Compact. This covenant that we republished in the Declaration of Independence. How unique in all of the world that one nation that was the resting point from people groups all across the world. It didn't matter the color of their skin. It didn't matter their language. It didn't matter their economic status. It didn't matter whether they descended from nobility or whether they have a higher class or a lower class. It made no difference. Once you got here, we were all the same. Isn't that remarkable? It is absolutely remarkable. And out of that, e pluribus unum, out of that, out of many, one. That is the greatness and essence of this nation. And we know we weren't perfect. We know there was slavery that was still tolerated when the nation began. We know that was an evil, and it was a scourge and a blot and a stain upon our history. But we also know that the very founders that wrote those documents worked tirelessly until slavery was no more in the United States. And I think it is high time that we recognize the contribution of our forebears who worked tirelessly, men like John Quincy Adams, who would not rest until slavery was extinguished in the country. And we have them to thank for that. And so instead of continually going back and looking at the weaknesses and the stains of America, let's look instead at the greatness of America. And because we were a self-correcting country. When you look at the United States dollar bill, when you look at just the simple dollar bill and you see the pyramid on the back of that dollar bill, the top of the pyramid is removed, and the all-seeing eye of God is above that pyramid. And you often wonder, well, why wasn't the capstone put on that pyramid? It was symbolic. It's because the founders saw that the history of the nation was not yet written. That was up to us. We were still continuing and perfecting because this was a self-correcting country. And so I come here tonight again to remind us that you are that self-correcting country, and you are the most important part of what's about to happen in the United States. We took a great leap forward, I believe, in this election in 2010, a great correcting step against the temptation in Washington, D.C. for a big overriding centralized government. We saw the passage of socialized medicine. We saw the purchase of private industries. Did you ever think in your lifetime that you would see the federal government purchase the largest car companies in the United States, GM and Chrysler? Did you ever think in your lifetime you would see the United States purchase the largest banks in America, Bank of America, Citibank, or to see America purchase the largest secondary home mortgage companies in America, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac? Today, the United States owns over 50% of all private home mortgages. Your government owns them. Your government now completely runs the student loan industry, and they took over socialized medicine. And President Obama recently signed an executive order so that he would now start implementing cap and trade, a national energy tax. This is stunning, stunning what has occurred in just 2 years' time. But remember, we're Americans. Remember who we descend from. Remember the greatness that belongs to all of you, because you are that self-correcting power. And we saw something very remarkable happen in this last election. And now it's up to you to make sure we see something remarkable happen in the 2012 election. Well, equality was what they came here to be about, and equality was the most important thing that they wanted. And our generation, I think, faces that starkest of all questions, because the failure to honorably convey the rightful inheritance to America will be no less a threat and require no less a response from all of us, because the answer is not with our political figures. I want you to know that.